World War II, the conflict that shaped our world. Imagine a world consumed by fire, where nations clashed in a struggle for survival. World War II was more than just a war. It was a cataclysm that reshaped the world. This is the story of that conflict, its causes, its battles, and its enduring legacy. World War II was a global conflict of unprecedented scale. It engulfed nations across continents, leaving an indelible mark on humanity. The war's impact continues to resonate today, shaping our political landscape and international relations. The seeds of this devastating war were sown long before the first shots were fired. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to secure peace after World War I, instead created resentment and instability. Its harsh terms imposed on Germany fueled anger and a desire for revenge. In the wake of this turmoil, extremist ideologies began to take hold. Fascism, with its promise of national glory and authoritarian rule, gained traction in Italy and Germany. Leaders like Hitler and Mussolini rose to power, exploiting the widespread discontent. These fascist regimes harbored expansionist ambitions, threatening the fragile peace. Hitler sought to reclaim lost territories and establish German dominance in Europe. Mussolini dreamed of a new Roman Empire, while Japan pursued its own imperial goals in Asia. Hitler's ambitions were clear: to expand Germany's borders and create a greater Reich. He openly defied the Treaty of Versailles, rearming the German military and annexing territories. His aggressive actions were met with appeasement from other European powers. The invasion of Poland on September 1, 1939, proved to be the breaking point. This act of blatant aggression could no longer be ignored. It triggered a chain reaction that plunged Europe and eventually the world into war. Great Britain and France, bound by treaty obligations to Poland, declared war on Germany. These nations formed the core of the Allied forces, standing against the Axis powers. Their initial stand was a desperate attempt to contain the Nazi threat. Germany's military strategy, known as Blitzkrieg or Lightning War, proved devastatingly effective. Utilizing rapid tank advances, air power, and coordinated infantry assaults, they quickly overwhelmed their opponents. Poland, France, and other nations fell swiftly under Nazi control. The Battle of Britain in 1940 marked a crucial turning point. The Royal Air Force, RAF, heroically defended British skies against the relentless onslaught of the Luftwaffe. This victory prevented a German invasion and demonstrated the limits of Hitler's power. The Eastern Front witnessed a conflict of unparalleled brutality and scale. Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941 unleashed a war of attrition that consumed millions of lives. The vastness of the Soviet territory and the harsh winter conditions proved challenging for the German war machine. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought in the winter of 1942-1943, became a symbol of resilience and a turning point against the Nazis. The Soviet Red Army, at immense cost, encircled and destroyed a large German force. This defeat marked the beginning of the end for the German war effort in the East. D-Day, the Allied landings in Normandy on June 6, 1944, was a monumental undertaking. This massive amphibious assault marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe. Allied forces faced fierce resistance, but ultimately established a foothold, paving the way for the defeat of Nazi Germany. World War II spurred significant technological advancements. Radar, developed by the British, proved crucial in detecting incoming enemy aircraft. Advanced weaponry, including improved tanks, aircraft, and submarines, transformed the nature of warfare. Tank warfare became a dominant feature of the conflict. The development of more powerful and reliable tanks allowed for rapid advances and breakthroughs. Aerial combat also played a critical role, with fighter planes and bombers shaping the course of battles. Propaganda played a powerful role in shaping public opinion and maintaining morale on both sides. Allied propaganda emphasized the fight for freedom and democracy. Axis propaganda promoted nationalistic fervor and demonized their enemies. The Holocaust stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history. It was a systematic persecution and extermination of Jews and other minorities by the Nazi regime. This horrific event serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of hatred and intolerance. The Nazis implemented a policy of genocide, aiming to eliminate entire groups of people based on their ethnicity, religion, or other characteristics. Millions of innocent men, women, and children were murdered in concentration camps and extermination camps. The scale of the Holocaust is almost incomprehensible. The attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, brought the United States into the war. This surprise attack by the Japanese Imperial Navy devastated the American fleet and galvanized public opinion in favor of war. The attack transformed a European conflict into a truly global war. The Pacific theater was characterized by brutal island-hopping campaigns. American forces fought their way across the Pacific, capturing strategic islands to get closer to Japan. Battles like Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa were fought with incredible ferocity. The use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 remains a controversial topic. These devastating weapons caused immense destruction and loss of life. They also forced Japan to surrender, bringing World War II to an end. Japan's surrender on September 2, 1945, marked the official end of World War II. The world rejoiced at the end of the long and bloody conflict. However, the war had left a deep scar on the global landscape. The Nuremberg Trials were held after the war to hold Nazi leaders accountable for their war crimes. These trials established important legal precedents for international justice. They also exposed the full extent of the Nazi atrocities to the world. The formation of the United Nations in 1945 was an attempt to prevent future conflicts. The UN aimed to provide a forum for international cooperation and diplomacy. It sought to address the root causes of war and promote peace and security. The division of Europe into Eastern and Western blocs marked the beginning of the Cold War. The Soviet Union exerted its influence over Eastern European countries, while the United States and its allies sought to contain Soviet expansion. This ideological struggle shaped global politics for decades. The Cold War was a new era of ideological tension and proxy conflicts. The United States and the Soviet Union engaged in an arms race and competed for influence around the world. The threat of nuclear war loomed large over the international community. We must never forget the sacrifices made by those who fought and died in World War II. Their courage and dedication preserved freedom and democracy for future generations. We owe them a debt of gratitude that can never be fully repaid. The fragility of peace is a lesson that we must constantly remember. The events of World War II serve as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked aggression and intolerance. We must strive to learn from the past and work towards a more peaceful future. It is crucial to maintain historical accuracy when discussing World War II. Balancing factual information with emotional storytelling allows us to understand the human cost of war. We must ensure that future generations understand the significance of this pivotal event. The enormity of the war's impact on individuals and nations demands our respect. World War II reshaped the world in profound ways. Its legacy continues to influence our lives today. Now, take a moment to reflect on the lessons of World War II. Research your own family history to understand how the war impacted your ancestors. Share this video with others to help educate them about this critical period in history. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.